What we love about our book, I Do Still, is that we can play off each other. We can come into the group, we can see the dynamics of the group, but you can also look at the book and you can tell if I were to come into our marriage and it was just me that was really wanting to help it out, then I could go as an individual and I could read the book and I could start working on my marriage. I did that years ago as Ronnie and I went through our marriage and we were struggling. And I got into a group and I started just as an individual, just working on myself. That changed our marriage dramatically. We have people that come into the group and we just may have one that just comes in and maybe the woman wants to work on it or the male wants to work on it. The other one just kind of comes along just because they need to. Then later on we'll see the couples coming together as one. They may have a bad marriage, and as they either individually or both start working on that marriage, you can see that marriage change before your eyes. Then as both of them start working on it, every single week when they come into our group, you'll see a difference. Also, when they're coming in and they talk to other people in the group and they find out they're not the only ones struggling in that particular area, you'll have people that after a couple of weeks feel comfortable, they start visiting with each other. Someone may give an example of what happened during the week, and as they do that, then you see heads nod and you see them looking at each other and go, we had that too. Also, as a small group leader, you want to be open and honest. You want to be able to tell, we just had a struggle last night too. This is what came about. This is how we started working on it. And so we've seen huge changes with I Do Still, with all the different areas that Ronnie had talked about as far as all the different chapters. You start seeing people talking about just trying to learn how not to be selfish in your marriage. And that's been a big turnaround, and just how to communicate in different levels and different ways. And so that's kind of what we've seen as we've gone through the group and gone through the book together.
You know, one aspect too is this is such a choice. The couples like Cheryl shared that want this bad enough to make the choice to do it, it works. It's not just our material, it's just when you work on your marriage and you want to put forth the effort, change will happen. But it's just the opposite as well, unfortunately, is when you come in there and you decide not to put forth the effort, you're not going to get any better off of than where you already are. In fact, you will start sliding backwards. So that's our heart, is to start spurring things on so that you will want this bad enough to want your marriage to get better. You know, with the divorce rate hovering around 50%, we have such a burden in the church to make a difference in the marriages. There's a saying that I like so well, and that's as the marriage goes, so goes the family, and as the family goes, so goes the church. And with that such a burden that the church has in their daily ministry, there are so many different plates they're trying to spin on a daily basis just to get just to win souls over, and much less to focus on something as specific as marriage and as important as it is. Our heart for our ministry is to equip the church, to help the church take material and work with marriages that are already struggling within their congregation. One aspect of that too is that we want to actually work with what we would call marriage champions. If the church can actually isolate a couple that has shown what it is to win, they have put forth the effort, and then they're actually mentors to some others. We want to work with those couples to take it even a step further so that they can start ministering marriage within their congregation. I think that's such an important aspect, that it doesn't always have to be the church's role, because we are the church. It doesn't have to be the pastor's role or the leadership role. It can be couples that just have a heart for marriage. And that's what we want to work on towards it. We want to equip those couples to take this message into other couples. One truth that we just listened to recently was a couple from a church here in town that within the last 3 months they've had 6 couples step forth and have filed for divorce. And that makes me sick. Marriages don't have to end in divorce. There are some things that possibly may require that, and it's inevitable in some aspect. But our heart is to save marriages one at a time. We can't look beyond that, and that's what our hope is for churches, that we can help them to understand that they can start working hard to make marriages heal one at a time. So with I Do Ministries, that's our heart, and that's what we really want to do. We want to partner with churches. We want to do everything we can as a couple, as a ministry, to work with the couples within your congregation to make it the very best it can be as far as marriages go.